All right, we are live. We are live. Welcome, welcome, welcome to a live version of the re-up. Basically, where I come and I show off a few books that I picked up throughout the week. And if someone happens to pop on, we chat for a while, do Q&As, whatever may have you. Um, to be honest, I've been surprised because I'm new at this. I'm surprised when people hop on and say hi and like Captain Comics, ahoy Captain. Yeah, I'm a little surprised that people hop on and actually see me ramble on about comics and see what I picked up. So if you do come in live or you watch on the rewind, know that I appreciate it. Um, so before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button. Um, After we get through, if you like me, you can go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, do all the good YouTube things, and of course, leave comments. So, what we're going to do first is I'm going to show you a couple of books unrelated to New Comic Book Day that I picked up. They are a couple I got in the mail from an Instagram sale. Uh, Pretty good deal in my estimation, but they are Howard the Duck 6. Oh, let's see. I swear I'm gonna manage this glare one day. The glare will not conquer me. Yeah, Howard the Duck number 6 and Howard the Duck number 7 from the original run. I have Howard the Duck 1 and a few others from that run. Um, I'm not gonna really chase them. Like I'm not out scouring the earth for Howard the Duck books. But if I come across them and they're a really good deal, I make sure to pick them up. Now, if I get close to the end of the run sometime in the future, and I have to go and search for one or two books to complete the run, then we might search a little harder, maybe think about overpaying. Um, my frugal nature doesn't even let that roll off the tongue really well. But um, yeah, I want to kind of complete the run of Howard the Duck uh, gradually. It's no rush. So the next book I have, in fact, the next two books I got this weekend. If you happen to have popped on my live show, um, it was either Saturday or Sunday night. My days run together. Where I rambled on too long about TV shows. Um, you'll recognize these two books. But the next book I have is Blade issue number 10. But like I said then, the funniest thing I think about this Blade book is that if I can get there we go. I've got Blade, but he's wearing a Punisher t-shirt. And on this Punisher t-shirt, if I can get it, the mouse is there. I don't know what kind of mouse goes on a Punisher t-shirt. I don't know if this was a Disney thing, if this was pre-Disney. But yeah, so we got Blade and Black Suit Spider-Man with a Mickey Mouse Punisher shirt. Who knows? And my next book is the all-new Captain America variant cover with Sam Wilson with a nice flat top fade and the boombox, of course, that says Falcons on it. I don't think it's the Atlanta Falcons. I could be mistaken, but I don't think that our new Captain America rolls like that. All right. Now, I was gonna wait till later to do this, but we're gonna stop and do a ceremonial thing. And what I want to do to celebrate the season finale of WandaVision coming out, and hoping that it's as great as I think it should be. I want to pop over my top, and I am going to pour one out for all of the people who said that the MCU was done post Endgame. They had no more ideas. Everything was through. Everything was going to fall apart, and Endgame was it. Surprise, WandaVision, and probably much more to come. Now back to the books from last week's, or maybe week before last, New Comic Book Day, because the South has been having problems with their comic book shipments. I don't know why, but I have crossover number 4. Now I missed crossover number 3, and I agree. Sleeping Collectibles, how are you doing? Welcome, sir. Um, I missed number 3 of crossover. I'm not sure how. I thought I put it on FOC, but I never did get it. And I had really decided that I was going to drop crossover because I'm not really big into Image or into any of the indies. I'm starting to pick up on indies, but a lot of the things I think that are going to come from crossover are over my head, and I was going to let crossover kind of pass me by until later. Maybe pick it up in trade. But now that I have 4, um, I may as well get 3 and see it through. But we'll see how that works. My next book, which I believe was supposed to come out at the very beginning of King in Black, is the King in Black Handbook. So what I've heard is basically it's got facts and stats on a lot of the characters that are in King in Black. So we'll pop this open and see what's in it. And now, to my books for this week. My first book is while I'm saying thank you. While I'm saying that I'm not that far into indies just yet, I did pick up the Boss Logic cover of Nocturna #1. Um, Kind of interesting book, interesting concept. World's kind of plunged into darkness, and this character whose name I forget, but this character's a truck driver who's basically driving supplies and maybe even people back and forth and trying to stay out of the darkness. Apparently, the darkness is turning people into creatures, and the only way to move around is in some sort of light. And so, and of course, world's plunged into darkness. There's probably not much light to be had. But I'm gonna give this a read, see what it is. Scott Snyder's doing the writing. I forget who's doing the art, uh, but we'll see what happens. It sounds like a pretty exciting read. What I did not get this week is I did not get Chariot from AWA Studios. I was looking forward to that, so I'm gonna have to hunt that book down one way or another. Yeah, sleeping. I know that I heard a couple of Scott Snyder interviews while Death Metal was still going on over at DC, and he was really hyping up this book. And then I read the premise, and it sounds great. I want to see what happens with this with eternal darkness and basically the world getting saved by a trucker, female trucker at that, and whatever this is on her forehead. I don't know what kind of visor this is. I don't know if it's protecting her from seeing the light. I'm not sure. But this cover kind of sold me, along with the story premise. All right, and so the next book I have, and I believe it may be my last new book for this week. Because I may have missed Batman 106. I'm gonna have to poke around. One store I stopped at didn't have it, and I don't think the second store I stopped at had it. So I'm gonna have to poke around for Batman 106, especially the wraparound cover because uh, Duke Thomas actually gets to be. He's in the corner somewhere, but he actually gets to be on the cover. Thank you for stopping by. You keep up with the good work, and I wonder if I can get a fireplace. I've heard fireplaces do wonders for your videos. Have a good one. So the next book I picked up, I think everyone may have picked up a copy in one form or another, and it is Berserker #1. Um, there were a few copies of the A cover, and then there was this cover at my store. So I went ahead and picked this cover. Um, because it looks pretty cool and it didn't cost anything over cover price. Um, boom. Yeah. I've heard good things about this. Half man, half god, all blood and gore, and working for the government. So we'll see where it leads us. Of course, it's written by Keanu Reeves. I think everybody in the world knows that by now. And I don't think I'll be running by to try and get any of the high ratio covers or trying to look for value in this book because there's been printings a plentiful. But I've heard it's a good story, so we'll read it and we'll see how I feel about it as far as the ongoing story. The next book I picked up today is Truth, Red, White, and Black, uh, featuring the first appearance of Isaiah Bradley, who, if I'm not mistaken, um, is basically an African American who was part of the Super Soldier program and may have taken it before Steve Rogers. I don't know if it was perfected by the time he took it, but yeah, I saw Isaiah Bradley's in this book, and supposedly he may show up in Falcon and the Winter Soldier coming up in the next month or so. So we shall see. But I've had my eyes on this book. Um, Not as much for spec, in as much as I really liked hearing about the character and wanted to run into the book sometime sooner or later. And someone had it for a really good price, in my opinion, and so I picked it up. My next book actually comes from a shop. It's the second shop I hit on the day, called Comics and Geeks, a Beverage Lounge, which is a pretty unique name. I want to see how the Beverage Lounge thing works in the future, but it's a pretty new shop. Anyway, um, she had A Force #1, basically for $2. Um, I know there was some talk about this group or a group of female heroes having a Marvel movie, or at least trying to get a Marvel movie started. And the A Force is a name that got thrown around a little bit. I don't know if that'll ever happen. It's been kind of quiet on that front. If it does, it's a nice book to have. If not, I spent $2 for an A Force #1. I really don't see the downside. Captain, did you get anything for New Comic Book Day this week? Oh, I don't know. How are you a new book buyer or you collect more older stuff? So my next book, this this book I bought for no reason but the cover. I know nothing about it. It is from Black Mask Soul Temple, probably the most interesting publishing name I've ever heard, but it is 12 Reasons to Die. Now, the reason why this is interesting is because of the person on the cover. And you may not recognize him from the cover because of the glare. But if we look at the bottom of the page, this is Ghostface Killer on the front from the Wu Tang. This was an interesting book to get. I may read it. I may find. I think this is issue 4, so I've got to see what kind of run this had, and what kind of story it was, and where I can find 1 through 3. Now that I have it, but there was a book sitting in the shop with Ghostface Killer on the cover. Wu Tang may not be for the children, but they are for me. My next book is I got from the same shop, and it's a book I believe from last week. I've got 2 issues of Marvel Voices Legacy #1, and so first I have the variant with Monica Rambeau on the cover. Of course, that name sounds familiar to everyone by now. And then lastly, this one I think is pretty popular, but I have the issue with Miles Morales on the front. And I like this cover. I really, especially ever since Into the Spider-Verse, I really do like the hoodie. Um, do I want to say accessory version of Miles Morales? Whenever I see a Miles Morales picture, and he is in his Spider-Man costume, but there's something extra, hoodie, sneakers, whatever it may be. I like those kind of covers. I don't know what it is. I think I do know what it is, but I enjoy covers of Miles Morales with the extra gear on. Yeah, that's what we'll say, gear. I don't know if accessories is the right word. So we'll say gear. And the last book for the night, um, again, if you caught me on Saturday and you caught my extra long rambling about TV shows, you may have seen this. But I have Miles Morales Spider-Man #23. The hopefully I won't butcher his name, but the Kale New variant. I think that's how you pronounce his name. I meant to actually go and look up the pronunciation, and I failed to do so. But I think it's Kale New, NGU. I picked this up from Frankie's Comics. I had this, and I had the Virgin copy, but it flew out of my hands faster than I don't know. It just flew out of my hands, but it did kind of cover the cost of the pair, so I'm pretty happy with that. Yes, yes. Well, actually, technically, technically, let's see if we can get a close up. These technically aren't Jordans. I think that's what they're supposed to represent, but I don't think that Marvel is putting out the money for licensing for this comic book. But yeah, but the dunking miles is still pretty cool. And that is it. That is it. That is my group of books for the week. I have a couple of more incoming, but they probably won't be here until either Friday or Saturday. But I think I did pretty well. I think the because I've talked to a few people from southern states, and I think there was a backup in this region of comics, but I do think that they are getting back on track, thankfully, so I can start getting my books on time and being able to come out here and go live with you guys on time. Um, but that being said, it is 20 minutes. Well, I'm 20 minutes in, which is I think good time. Thank you very much, Captain. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And I appreciate you for always stopping by and hanging out. Um, but I'm a little over 20 minutes in, and I've got to go and get ready to be an adult and go to work tomorrow. So, as I always say, love yourself, love others, and I will be back in a flash. Thanks, guys.